Hey guys, a surprise live stream. I thought I'd show you what I've been working on and what I've done since the last time I did a video. So this piece was the one that was really pink, and it had this in the background. Hold on. It had this in the background, which I ended up not liking. So I pulled that out. And I used on this to tone this down. It had a lot of the pink in there. I used a Primary Elements. It's called Candied Yams. So kind of looks like Thanksgiving sweet potatoes. But it's really scrumptious gold orange that I put on there. And I put it on all of it. Then I went back with the Golden's Iridescent Bright Gold Fine. And I touched up the top. And to finish it off, I used my Metallic Luster, the Copper Kettle, to put some in there. I'm not sure if it's done or not. I'm going to have to sit on this a little bit. I may want to do some hot pink fuchsia flowers in here, little ones. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to have to live with it for a few days and see. The background, I ended up going with, this is my piece of balsa wood. And I had those decorative papers from, that paper store. I've told you guys about it before. Anyway, I'll remember it in a second. And I had the paper there, and it really looked cool under there. And I adhered it down, and when I adhered it, the gel medium made it kind of dark in here. Well, I just took my iridescent bright gold fine and a brush, and I just did this because that was the pattern on the paper anyway. And that worked out just dandy. I did go back and I used a maroon. What is it? It is Permanent Maroon by Golden, and it is a heavy bodied. I went back and painted all around here on that, and there was a little bit showing right in here, so I went ahead and just painted that because it went with that paper. So now my eye doesn't catch any bare spots. So that's where this one is. It's going to sit. So next piece. Here's the trees. And I am totally in love with the trees. I'm not finished with them yet. In fact, while I'm on this live stream, I'm going to go ahead and do some more work on here. But I was trying, it's a 10 by 20, and I was searching for something to use as a back. Couldn't find any 10 by 20 the balsa wood, and yeah, I know I can get it cut at Home Depot, or T could cut it for me, but I just didn't want to, hi itty bitty, I just didn't want to mess with that. I wanted to have it done, and I couldn't find any 10 by 20 canvas panels. Hi baby, say hi. I'd say hi. It's a sweet girl. Yes you are. So I remembered that I had this piece of wood. This was actually in the back of a picture frame, an old 1800s picture that had my great-great-grandpa or something in it. Anyway, I took, the glass broke. I ended up taking this out. I'm sorry, scared her. Scared the baby. And it just happens to be 20 inches deep and just a little bit over 10 inches wide. And it is a really thin wood, so I think that I can come back in with my X-Acto knife and I can trim away here. And how to frame this, I'm still not sure because they didn't have any of the 10 by 20, the deep frames like I like at the canvas place. Although they will do those to order if you ask them. I'm not sure if that's cost extra or not. But I happened to see on another picture I have in the house that I got from somewhere else, and they had taken maybe a 2-inch wide oak, piece of oak, maybe half an inch thick, not even that, maybe 3/8, half an inch of oak, just an oak board, and they had framed it. They had put it around and then nailed the oak into the sides. So I may do that. I can adhere these together using my E6000. I'll, of course, paint my edges, probably black. I don't know, maybe brown in this case. And I think that, oh, and I'll adhere this wood, this piece here, I'll adhere that to the back so that this is all one piece. And then CFT will cut some pieces and we'll just self-frame it with oak. Or with something, it doesn't even, cedar would work. Anything rustic. So we're heading out to Home Depot tomorrow anyway, so that sounds like a wonderful thing for me to check. Hey, baby. Good girl. I can't pet you right now. I can't pet you right now. I can't. Okay, I'm going to, she's persistent. Passing through, just passing through. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of this gold, the iridescent, and I'm going to just kind of dry brush on here a little bit. We shall see how that works. Okay, I just put a little bit on there, not much. Okay, remember, I want to dry brush it. I don't want to pick up much paint, so after I dip it in there, I'm pouncing it on here just to make sure I have hardly anything in there. And then I'm just going to hold my brush so that it is horizontal or parallel to the surface. Is that right, parallel? It's not perpendicular, I think it's parallel. My mother would kill me. And I'm just going to lightly pick up the peaks here. Now, I'm sure you've been able to see from all the things that I have shown you so far that copper is my preferred metallic finish, but I kind of like doing the gold first and then coming back in with the copper metal luster and doing dry brushing that on top of what I'm already dry brushing here. I just love that stuff. Just want to pick up the peaks here. Don't want to get too, this is very, very rustic looking. I don't want to detract from that, so just highlighting some places. If you notice this was a cheesecloth and this part here was a ribbon. I knew what I'd do with that, I'd show it to you. It's just a ribbon that I found at Amazon. It's almost a paper. Anyway, I painted it. I went over and I painted the back side with soft gel matte and kind of pushed it through so it's actually solid in some places. And then I went back in and I pulled in some of the moss green from Color Art, and then I did the olive vine over that. So I'm just kind of picking up things here. It's all about the layers. Now, if this ends up being too much, I can come back in and tone it down with something else if I want to. Almost gives it a sun-kissed look, which I just love that. A little metallic goes with everything. I say that. I just love it. Less is more in this case. Just picking up the edges. This is one of those pieces that I hope, when it's finished, invites the viewer to take a closer look, to really check out this texture, to try and figure out how did she do that. Which is one of my favorite things when I'm looking at an artist's work. I always want to know how they do that. I would say most of the time I don't have the opportunity to ask that question of the artist. And then some artists don't really want to share their procedures, their processes, and I understand that. However, I like to share because my whole thing is paying it forward. I had wonderful mentors who helped me, and I would not be creating if not for them. And they were generous and shared their ways with me, their knowledge with me. So I'm hoping to do that with others. It's just, you know, I think we need more of that in this world right now. Okay, alrighty. So, pull this back around. Get this bottom layer off. Okay, my question is, shall I put it on here? I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to wait on that because I have a silver spark and I have the black shimmer. And I don't know, I may try some of that black shimmer over there, or I may come back in with my copper and hit the leaves with the copper. So, switching out. I probably should have varnished this before I did this, but I get excited about seeing things and I want to see how they're going to look right now. I don't want to wait. So I can varnish it, and if I need to reapply any of this, I can do so. Most of this is not going to show. It's behind that first canvas. So this is a good opportunity to see what that gold, since I already accidentally got some on there anyway. What the heck? Oh, that's pretty. I love doing things like this with the dry brushing because my pieces are so textural that there's always so much to pick up with a metallic, and you don't have to go overboard with it. Just need a little bit of it. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up the gold with this, but then while that's drying, I'm going to add some of the copper on top of it, tone it down a bit. This reminds me of the moss on trees. And I just couldn't stand leaving it just with nothing. Had to have more. Okay, let's see. Hey, Eddie. Baby. Just gonna sit right there, up there, and watch. What I'm doing is those little beads, the little clear beads, the Matisse ones, are in here, so I'm just kind of touching over those with the gold. Okay. Anything else? I'm putting more gold up here at the top, going for the sun thing. And she's out of here. Hi, itty bitty. Okay. Alrighty. There's that. Now for this. This dries up. That's the only thing I don't like about that, is it just dries up so fast, but I just spritz it, let it sit for just a few seconds, get on my fingers, and let's see. Let's see what we will. Ooh. Oh yeah. To me, it's like magic. I mean, this really is the magic part, hitting the peaks and the valleys with this, with the paint, and all of a sudden that texture just magically appears. It's an amazing thing. Sometimes the texture is so subtle that you really don't notice it until you put this on. That is delicious. I'll do close-ups once I finish the last from today. Okay, I'm also going to put some copper on here just because, you know, I am. Let's see, down here. To me, this copper is like the forest. I mean, it's like the forest floor. I've got that rich olive green in here, and the gold and the copper. I've used metallic browns. And some of this I'm really trying to get in there with my finger to accentuate those little clear beads. Well, this is all looking really green and brown and gold. I may come in here, I may add a bit of blue in here. I don't know, maybe a bit of purple. Not sure. I actually did a little maroon in here, of that deep maroon, because I had some extra on my brush. I just put it on there. This will reactivate if I put something else on there. The gold will not. The texture that I used in this piece was crackle paste, and I think it was mostly crackle paste. I think I may have used some eggshell in here, but I don't know if I did or not. I don't remember. And then I went back over it with some mica pieces that I had added into a soft gel. And that's what this is right in here. Okay, I'm turning this around. So I can see what's up here. I'm paying attention to the texture on this around the edges because it will show. I don't know, I may paint this copper on the edges. I don't know. I don't paint black edges usually. I try to bring in the color of the background, or whatever color is predominant in the piece. Okay, let's look at this. Okay. Loving it. Okay. This one. Just right here around the edge, because that's all that will show, if that shows at all. Love this stuff. And I have been working on that other piece that I added to the other day. Use that, the almond paste, almond flour mixed with light molding paste. That one. I have been putzing with that one, so when I finish this, I'm going to get that one and spend a few minutes with it. I have messed with it already today, but I'm not altogether happy with it, so we shall see. Reminds me of spider webs. I love trees. If you've known me long, you know that I used to go by my studio name, which was Gnarly Grove. And that was a name that I wanted to use for years and years, just because the word gnarly just does something for me. I don't know. I just loved it. And I started with trees, and I love trees, and I wanted to include them in my art. And I used that for several years until I realized that people knew Gnarly Grove, but they didn't know me. They had no idea what my name was. And I was like, okay. So I call my studio here Gnarly Grove. And it's still a name that I love. And it's still my business name, actually. So if you ever purchase anything, it's going to say Gnarly Grove on there. I just can't get rid of it because I love it. Okay, let's see how this goes. All right, and let me get the wood back. Okay. And on my phone, that just looks so monochromatic going on there. Here, it doesn't look nearly like that. I mean, you can see all the little nuances of color and everything. I'm loving this, but I do feel like I need to put a bit of more color in there, so I may choose to use maybe just a little bit of the dark maroon. I have some of that, or even a Prussian blue, which is probably my favorite blue color. So we'll let that one sit, go to the next. Okay, this is where we are right now. And I don't know. I'm just not excited about it. I used a teal in here, and it just got a little muddy in here, which I'm not caring for a whole lot, so I'm really not sure what I'm going to do here. I did spray this with varnish to lock down these colors a little bit, but I'm hoping that maybe I can press and get some of this color off. I don't know if I can or not. We'll try. Yeah, a little bit. That works. Because the powdered pigments, they're like watercolor, and just like you can go back over your watercolor paintings and remove pigment. If this hadn't been sealed, I'd be able to pick up a lot more. And when I spray this with the varnish spray, all that does is it just locks it down a little bit so I can come back and work a little bit more with it. But it doesn't completely seal it like the varnish does, like the liquid varnish does. Okay. All right. That made a very pretty paper towel, though. I do love the paper towels. I'm weird. Okay, let's see here. I think I need to put some more blue back in here, so I'm going to dig in my blues, see what I got here. Not the teal, tone turtle teal. Don't want that. Those are all too light. Okay. Bachelor button blue. What's a possibility? Blue flame or ocean wave. I'm going to go with the blue flame. It's almost got that really, like the, whatchamacallits, what is this? Interference colors. Almost feels like it's an interference color. We'll see. Now remember, if I screw this up, what is my option? Gesso. So I don't ever worry about it. That makes me brave. Woo! Liking that. Now you can see this kind of beading up. That's because the varnish got in there a little bit when I sprayed it. That's okay. I'm going to keep working. It'll work. I'm talking about, and if you don't learn unless you try, so I just go for it. Am I going to like it better? I don't know. I may end up having to gesso that anyway, just to get some tooth for my stuff to hold on to. Then again, I might not. We'll see. Okay. We'll go up here. Love it when the color gets down amongst those beads. It's so cool. I wish I hadn't been as thorough as I was when I sprayed this. That'll teach me. That's it. I'm going to turn this around this way. Dress this over here. Not sure what I'll do over there. We'll see. I gotta see what happens when it dries. I may have to get a metallic blue, an actual paint, not a pigment, and come back over this. I don't know. We'll see. I can't do anything until it dries. So. You may be saying to yourself, Judy, you really screwed that up. Yeah, maybe. Might have. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe it's going to look great when I finish. I choose to believe that it's going to be great. I keep coming back over that with my brush. It is smoothing it out somewhat here. So maybe as that water evaporates, who knows? Yeah, I know people might say it's really good to have a plan, but I like working like this. It's always a surprise to me. I never know what the piece is going to turn out like exactly. I believe that art has a voice and that it's going to lead you to discover what it wants to be. And because of that, this is just part of the journey of becoming. Kind of like a life. We go through the same thing. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do with that either. I may come in here. I may use some gold leaf. I may put some gold leaf in there. I may gold leaf high. You know, this is raised surfaces on here. I may put some adhesive on there and gold leaf. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. See how this dries, and then I'll make some decisions based on that. But that's all I think I'm going to do on that right now. Get that out of the way. This is a piece I gessoed over it. It was a piece that had a lot of rust on it and had these square shapes on there. It's got a whole lot of texture going on. So on Thursday, I'm going to redo this piece. I'm going to start with adding the textures. I'm not going to touch this until Thursday. And I am going to use some of the flour and molding paste mixed. And I'm going to build it up, and I have no idea where it's going to go from there, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm not going to cut it. I say that now, but that's what we're going to start on Thursday. Let me show you a few others. I had these pieces already made up. They've been sitting on the shelf for a couple of months now. I had already put the silk on there, gessoed them, and I believe I've already gone over them with the gel medium, I think. So I decided to do a little cutting and playing. These are 10 by 10 inch. And I don't know if I'm going to do something behind or not. This one, I don't know. I think, oh, I was doing something and I put it to dry on the shelf and the copper dripped. Oh well. And I just added some texture here, which I'm not happy with. So this may be something that we work with first because I'm just not happy with it the way it is right now. Really liking this one. It's got the crackle paste on here and the long linear things, the cutouts there. I really like that one, and I really like this one. So I'll be playing some more with those. So that's what's going to happen on Thursday. I'll start on all of those and show you what's happened with the pieces that I've already worked on, see what decisions I've made with that pink one that's now more orange than pink. See where we go from that. Anyway, glad you came in to watch today. And who is that there? Hi, Seema. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Have a great few days. Bye.